just ask myself, oh why? When will it end? We do not know. Where have you been? We'll never know. And to the friend I'll never know, waiting through the hell we must go. And the angels feel so near, hear them whisper, have no fear. When the truth will come to light, there will be no need to fight. Hear the demons from the deep, hear them scream unto the sheep. And the flocks, they scatter them, for the evil, it has no end. Wretched until the death, we fight them with our last breath. For the ones who close their eyes, it is the truth that they despise. No dishonor, no more fear. They devour, we hold right here. Hold the line, we will not break. The enemy will meet his fate. No compassion, no remorse. Now your ship has lost its course. Be reminded of what you've done, like a bullet shot from a gun, splitting air and drawing blood. Our enemies will turn to mud. The watchers see us, they so despise. Blood before them, it's our demise. End of watch, we close our eyes. No more pain, no more lies. No dishonor, no more fear. They devour, we hold right here. No dishonor, no more fear. They devour, we hold right here.
Ця пісня лунає з самої землі, в ній заклик поколінь та прагнення до волі. Нікуди не зникала, вона була завжди, її слова зберіг вільний вітер в полі. Гори додали своє життя, б'ють в барабан хвилі у морі. Бачили різне, відвагу, любов, пам'ять крізь час та надію крізь горе. Поверніться живими, герої, ви мусите жити під сонцем новим. Для тих, що чекали вдома, для тих, що не повернулись живими. Поверніться живими, будь ласка, розкажете дітям ще на ніч казку під сонцем новим. Розвійте дим, брудні ворогів розтануть сліди. Якби ж одної чистої віри достатньо було, щоб перемогти. І правди одною достатньо, аби смерті до ворога шлях знайти. Доволі, якби було слово поета, щоб назад полетіли ракети. Якби ж почувши дитинний плач, і сорому скоїв самогубство кат. Але ні, якщо б не герої, якби не їх воля залізна, коли б не взяли до рук зброї. Складати вірші було пізно. Вчорашні звичайні люди сьогодні тримають землю і небо. Ніхто не знає, що завтра буде, але вони роблять все, що треба. Поверніться живими, герої. Ви мусите жити під сонцем новим. Для тих, що чекали вдома, для тих, що не повернулись живими. Поверніться живими, будь ласка. Розкажете дітям ще на ніч казку під сонцем новим. Розвійте дим, брудні ворогів розтануть сліди.
All right, that was a little tune from Ilya Lete. Ilya Lete. Probably butchering that name, but man, what a powerful song, guys. Heard that one. I had to share it. I had to share it. I posted the link right there. Let me throw it in the description as well. But I threw a little video together of some of the men we've helped, the videos they've sent me in one way or another, either through Car for Ukraine or through Page in Kansas or just through helping directly. I wanted to throw a little video together, and I felt that one really hit hard with that song. It's about come home to us, basically, for the soldiers. And let me put the music by, so I can give tribute to that, because that is a really one of those songs that just resonates with me when I heard. There we got it. I got it in the description too, guys. Big strikes happening in Ukraine this week. Unfortunately, devastating ones in Ternopil. I'm not gonna get too much into detail behind it. But it came very close, very close to the channel and people we may support. Very close. Total so far just in Ternopil was, I believe 26 civilians killed, and there was like 100 wounded among many children. And we're going to get into some of that today and talk about Ukraine today. And I don't do many Ukraine streams, even though we fundraise just about every stream for Ukraine, because it's damn hard for me to talk about sometimes. But I'm feeling pretty stable gathering some of this. There was clips I just couldn't share because they're just so heart-wrenching. I couldn't do it. But we'll get there eventually to where it won't be that much of a mental strain for me to share. But yeah. Guys are okay. Everything's okay. One of the strikes came very close to family members. Everybody's fine. That's as much as I'll say. So, this is what's going on in Ternopil. Basically, the Russians launched a massive attack. Killed 26 people, 100 injured. Ternopil attack, the most devastating single event occurred overnight in November 19th. That's yesterday for me. When a Russian missile hit 2 9-story apartment buildings far from the front lines. The victims include 3 children, and several people were reportedly burned alive. Rescue efforts continued for days, with dozens initially reported missing. The strike, which also damaged energy facilities, destroyed the fragile sense of safety previously felt in western Ukraine. There was also strikes, I believe, in Ivano-Frankivsk for sure. Kharkiv got absolutely pummeled this last week. Kyiv and I believe Lviv might have got one. I'm not sure. I have to double check the Lviv aspect to this. Widespread barrage. In total, Russia launched over 500 aerial weapons, including 476 drones and 48 missiles of various types across the country overnight on November 18th to the 19th. Air defense intercepted the majority, but successful strikes were also reported in Kharkiv. Okay, and Lviv regions. So yes, Lviv regions as well. Energy infrastructures. Russia attacks have specifically targeted Ukraine's energy infrastructures, but there's also obviously they're hitting civilian targets as well, because there's no energy infrastructure in a high-rise building in Ternopil. It's a civilian populated area. You're talking an area that's 200 to 300 kilometers away from the front line, and there's just no damn good reason. No damn good reason other than just for terrorism to hit a high-rise building where children are sleeping. So the large-scale assault prompted NATO members Poland and Romania to scramble fighter jets as a precautionary measure, as one of the Russian drones reportedly entered Romanian airspace. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky condemned the attacks, which occurred as he was visiting Turkey for peace talks, and urged allies for more air defense support. So there was also counterattacks. Ukrainian forces reportedly used American-supplied ATACMS missiles to strike targets in Russia, with Russian officials claiming 4 missiles were shot down over Voronezh. In addition to the aerial bombardments, intense combat has been reported along the front lines. The strategic city of Prokhorovsk in the Donetsk region is reportedly on the verge of falling into Russian hands in the past week. Russian forces have reportedly gained about 37 square miles of Ukrainian territory. Now, that being said, they've been going for Pokrovsk for years now. Years. And have been unsuccessful. So if they lose Pokrovsk, yeah, it's a big blow, but not as big of a blow as it's been to the Russians who have died there for nothing. For what is now just a heap of dirt. Because Pokrovsk's gone. It's leveled. So let's get into some of the bookmarks I got, and then we'll get into, I've got some clips saved of, I made sure this is very, I want to make sure that whatever I air on here is YouTube acceptable. So I took a lot of time here and gathered some stuff that I can show. There's a lot of stuff I can't show, but there is some stuff I feel completely safe with. You'll hear a lot. There's not a lot to see, so there's not like anything that would break terms. But there's a lot of noise. So you'll hear a lot of the noise, impactfulness of these drones that are coming in. So here's some reports out of Ternopil. In Ternopil, Russia killed Ruslan Bobik, a 17-year-old student. The tragedy was reported by his college on their social media. In another apartment, an entire family was struck. 15-year-old Anastasia Tsiapalo and her grandmother Tetiana were injured. Her mother Oksana and grandfather Eor, 67, were both killed. So here's a response from Zelensky. Right now, all our services keep working in Ternopil to help the victims and save as many lives as possible. Points of invincibility have been set up where people can receive the support they need. Tragically, tonight, the people of Ternopil suffered the most from Russian aggression in this massive attack. As of now, we know that this strike by Russia has claimed 25 lives, including 3 children. Once again, the Russians have killed innocent, peaceful people who were simply sleeping in their homes. So I believe this number has actually increased since yesterday. The amount of children dead, I believe, is at least doubled, and I'm pretty sure the entire strike killed 14 throughout the country. My condolences to everyone who has lost members and loved ones. 93 people have been injured. They are receiving medical care. There are still people trapped under the rubble. And first responders are continuing search and rescue operations. Russia will not stop. Russia will never stop on its own. Their goal is to continue killing and destroying life in Ukraine. Only strong pressure on the aggressor can stop this. Every life matters. Every life must be protected. And I'm grateful to our partners who are ready to pressure Russia, help our people, and do everything possible to restore peace and justice. Little response there. This was the earlier one. Hey, Pyro. Hey, good to see you. Thank you for being here. Yeah, guys, I knew it's going to be a small stream today. I knew the time is rough. I actually spent some time gathering this, so I wanted to make sure I had enough content. Like I said, it's really hard for me to do Ukraine streams just because I'm so emotionally invested. But I'm going to start doing more of these streams because we need to. And also, guys, I have a fundraiser pinned in the top of the description. I threw a little video out there earlier, is for the 14th Mechanized Brigade. Whatever you guys can do to help get this thing wrapped up, we need to do. Because I've already got another one lined up for Rowan's buddy. He needs an EcoFlow. And he needs it soon. And not to mention that, Rowan didn't get paid last month because he was in the hospital. He's back on frontline duty now. And I think he's doing territorial defense. So we have, after we get this one wrapped up for the 13th, we have another one to do. So we need to get this ball rolling on these fundraisers. I think there was $1,300 left. And we got to push it out. Then the next one, it's going to be small. We're going to do a little $800 fundraiser for the EcoFlow. And then we'll circle back and see where we are. And I want to make sure, Rowan is good, like financially, because I know he's pressed right now because of him not getting paid. But we'll circle back to all that when we can. But for now, pinned in the top of the description, it's through Page in Kansas. It's a 501c3 earmark for the 14th. If you donate, or Chungus's community, whatever, it's all, that's fine. I saw someone already donated. Salt, thank you very much, Salt, for donating. Appreciate the hell out of it. All right, let's see what else we can get into. So there was also, I got another report here. I'll pull this one off screen. I don't want to blast him. One of my buddies behind the scenes. Oh, I can't even get to it. Okay, I'll save that one for next time. We'll pull in some of the clips from Instagram. So Instagram's like my main account for gathering info on strikes in Ukraine. Just because I have so many Ukrainian friends that are on Instagram. It's like the main source now. So when it comes to probably gathering information on Ukraine, I'm going to go here.
Attack on western Ukraine. 2 apartment blocks in Ternopil were almost completely leveled. We see these horrific images that have come out of these buildings. Now, Ternopil and areas like Ivano-Frankivsk and Lviv, these areas of western Ukraine that were targeted, are places that early in the war, people from eastern Ukraine fled for relative safety. They are usually quite quiet in regard to these attacks, but all the more reason why this attack last night was so substantial for this particular area. The deadly...
Very true. Like, when I think of, if I wanted to like ever go to Ukraine or buy a piece of property or live there, Western Ukraine would be the spot, because I feel like it would be safer, and you feel a sense of protection being so far away from the front. But then you see these drones get launched, and the sheer terror behind the attacks, and the sounds alone from some of these attacks. This is Kyiv. Volume up on this, guys. You hear the rumbling in the background. don't think, like, I know with my headset, and like I was actually on lunch break yesterday gathering some of this, and I heard the sounds. I don't think it does it any real justice of how loud these attacks can be, how impactful, how scary. Here's a moment of silence held by the rescuers in Ternopil.
Оголошується загальнонаціональна хвилина мовчання. Оголошується
Let's see what other yep, more over here. This was a Kyiv hit. This was earlier this week or late last week, I believe.
In what seems to be a nationwide attack, the city of Kyiv has particularly suffered tonight. It's been hit with ballistic missiles, cruise missiles, Shahed-type drones. Behind me is a building that's just been struck. We heard a baby crying just above us. Everyone in Kyiv is under shock. This is one of the largest attacks that we've heard. It's about 3:20 in the morning right now, and we'll keep covering the situation. I'm in the entrance of one of the buildings that was struck tonight in Kyiv. A man just came down the stairs shaking his head saying this is horrible. There are 14 injured for the moment, but the number is on the rise.
So I was getting videotape. My buddy could see him from his apartment. Also, the strikes that were occurring. It was so massive with strikes going on. There's one of the Shahed drones right there flying right over their head. God dang, dude, that's like the sound, the scariness of the sound alone. Like the fear that, like, God, for the people to be going through that every day, it's just unreal. It is unreal. Here's another one. Close your eyes and enjoy the sounds of Ukrainian nights. Oof. So Dnipro was also hit super hard. I have very, very close friends. They're like family to me from Dnipro. So yeah, I mean, speaking of scaring the kids, like, dude, that would be like, what do you do? There was a story. I'll read it to you. His name is Kamel, and his wife and two 6-year-old children, a boy and a girl, were buried in the rubble in Ternopil. He stated that my wife and my children are missing. I don't believe they're alive. The kids got scared, so we turned on cartoons for them. I was in the hallway and wanted to grab some things to get the family out, but then the explosion happened. I don't know if they'll be found. I don't believe they'll be alive. I don't have a follow-up to that story, but the dude also stated that he no longer believes in miracles, but he will wait for them. But just the fear, like, what do? You turn on cartoons and you've got shaheads going? Like, what else can you do? Here's some of the drone nets. The animals are getting stuck in the drone nets. Poor little pooch got stuck in one of the drone nets, so they got him out of there. But they got to lay these nets all over the tops of these cities just to block some of the drones from coming in. I'm not talking the shaheads. Nothing will stop those from hitting, except for air defense. But they got this little pooch that was wrapped up in it out. Got him out.
Все, дівчинка. Молодець.
He was running off with his buddy. But yeah, pretty gnarly. Pretty gnarly. These nets seem to be working though as well. Check this out. For the smaller drones.
Ходиш на вулицю, думаєш, там в туалет сходити, чи там ще щось зробити. А тут такий звук. Опа, а це що? А у нас гості.
Dude, that's a big ass bomb on a drone.
Отак от. Ну, буває, це життя. Усім гарного дня, гарного настрою. Тримаємось. Yeah.
That one came close, I'd imagine. That's a pucker factor. Here's another pucker factor from these drones.
Куди? Поїхали!
Absolutely wild. Wild how close that came to taking him out.
In what seems to be a
We already played
nationwide
that one. So while all this is happening back in the US, there is an alleged peace plan deal coming from Donald Trump. And I don't know the details behind it, but from what it sounds like so far, it's going to be more of terms of surrender for Ukraine. From what I'm gathering from the information I'm getting. New Trump peace proposal, get out of here, for Ukraine could require land concessions and military reductions, sources say. This is a 28-piece, I think it was 28-piece peace plan, allegedly. 28. Big numbers, big piece. U.S. President Donald Trump has approved a 28-point peace plan to end the war in Ukraine, which were reportedly drafted by the U.S. and Russian officials without direct Ukrainian or most European involvement. The draft plan proposes significant concessions from Ukraine in exchange for U.S. security guarantees. Ukrainian and European officials have broadly criticized the plan, with many calling it capitulation to Russia. Russia. So drafted by the Trump administration could envision the country ceding the eastern Donbass region and limiting the size of its military in exchange for limiting the size of its military. What is that all about? The security guarantees from the United States, according to a Western official familiar with the ideas under discussion. U.S. officials said the plan was still being worked on and that any final agreement would require concessions from both sides, not just Ukraine. Some of the points being circulated now, including some that appear weighted towards Moscow demands, are not final, officials said, and will almost certainly evolve. So, allegedly, Keith Kellogg is out, and there is a military envoy going to discuss terms headed to Ukraine right now, from what I understand, from what I've researched. The 28-point plan, which President Donald Trump has reviewed and supports, is the White House's latest attempt to bring Russia's war in Ukraine to an end. Some of the proposal provisions, including territorial concessions in areas not currently held by Russia, have previously been non-starters with Ukrainians. But the U.S. officials see a new window of opportunity to restart peace discussions. The plan is still in the framework stage, and its many points haven't been finalized. CNN has not reviewed the proposal. What is that? I don't care about knitting. President Trump has been clear since day one that he wants the war between Russia and Ukraine to end. And he has grown frustrated with both sides of their refusal to commit to a peace agreement. White House Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt said, nevertheless, the president and his team never give up. And the United States has been working on a detailed and acceptable plan for both sides to stop the killing and create a durable, lasting peace. Secretary of State Little Marco suggested late Wednesday the document was a list of potential ideas rather than a completed proposal. So it's the concept of a plan. It's the concept of one. It's the concept of a proposal we're talking about here. Ending a complex and deadly war such as the one in Ukraine requires an extensive exchange of serious and realistic ideas, he wrote in a post on X. And achieving a durable peace will require both sides to agree to difficult but necessary concessions. That is why we are and will continue to develop a list of potential ideas for ending this war based on input from both sides of this conflict. Still, some of the provisions being floated are likely to draw criticism from Ukraine and its backers since it would require significant land concessions. The two regions that form the Donbass, Luhansk, and Donetsk are still partially held by Ukraine. I was watching clips. I didn't realize exactly how bad it is over there in the occupied areas, but I was literally watching clips earlier and people were cheering for water to come. People were cheering in the little towns there to get water trucks, because that's how bad the circumstances there are in eastern Ukraine. And I really didn't I know it's bad there. They're under Russian occupation, but they were literally just cheering out water's finally here. And it blew my mind. It blew my mind to hear. Something's going on with my X account. In other Ukrainian news, this is wild, guys. Let me make sure I got that shut down. I do, okay. This is from a very reliable source that I got this. This guy from President Zelensky's UA party shot a video at a Ukrainian EU manufacturer's exhibition, and then Russia's massive missile strike hit Ternopil. Ukrainian MP Alexander Fedyenko, who is also a member of the National Security Committee, published on his YouTube channel a video from an exhibition of Ukrainian EW manufacturers. He named the location, the city, and the plant where this EW is made. Holy crap. Let's have a little talk about operational security. Don't, as a member of a security committee, do not give addresses for clicks. Don't. I barely say shit. If I have info, guess what? I don't say shit. Most of the time, even if I don't have permissions, I blur faces out. Why? Because Russians watch. Especially men in power like this guy. And then bad shit happens. Russians have to watch out for Russia. There needs to be an investigation into that guy. Here's another one. Russians having to watch out for Russia as well. A Russian activist confessed to Polish investigators that he worked for the FSB. The former head of Navalny's headquarters in Saransk leaked information about exiled opposition members to the FSB. Now, this is a really common thing, especially for Russian speakers to have to watch out. Because they will actively come for you. Like, I've got a friend that was poisoned on Navalny's campaign. With Navalny. And some of his own campaign leaders were working for the FSB. Like, these guys are in it. They're in it deep. They're sneaky. And they will fool you. And you got to be careful. Trump's leaked peace terms seem to have been written in Moscow. Says Finland foreign minister posted by Euromaidan Press. Really? Okay, I got to read that one. Euromaidan Press. Okay, pulling it over. What the hell? Get it out of here. Go away. There. Let's get a little background music. I need to chill out now. Loud. There we go. Background, not all around. Trump's peace plan sounds like it came straight from Moscow, Finnish foreign minister says. God, I love the Finns. I am Finnish, by the way. Following media reports about a possible peace plan discussed by the US and Russia, Finnish foreign minister Alina Valtonen said the proposal seems to have been written in Moscow, according to the YLE. She made her remarks during a visit by NATO ambassadors to northern Finland's Rovaniemi? No. On 20 November, where she also delivered a lecture on Arctic policy and security at the University of Lapland. Valtonen peace plan looks like it was written by Moscow. Valtonen told YLE the leaked terms resemble proposals that could have originated in the Kremlin. She warned that if accurate, they wiped the UN Charter off the table entirely. Valtonen said that if the reported terms are accurate, neither Ukraine nor its European allies could accept them. According to her, these kinds of ideas have been circulating in various unofficial documents, but none offer a basis of just peace. However, she also noted that there have been no formal notification or official proposals from any government involved. But we've got a delegation headed there again, apparently. We got a delegation from the U.S. headed there. The U.S. is actively like working against Ukraine now, it seems like. Finland warns against legitimizing Moscow's demands. According to Valentin, Finland, along with other European countries, has decided to support Ukraine and its people. She stressed that Ukraine is not only defending its territory, but also standing for democracy and the rule of law. Valentin added that although Trump wants peace in Ukraine and is open to hearing different ideas, it is crucial that U.S. partners understand the global implications of such a deal. Valentin stated that any path to peace must begin with a ceasefire, something Ukraine has already agreed to do. Finland has proposed such a step to Russia, but Moscow has refused to make any concessions. The Finnish minister added that Finland remains committed to supporting Ukraine through defense materials and sanctions on Russia. Good little article there. Straight from the Kremlin, huh? Why doesn't that surprise me? Trump has come to save Russia again. I just want to see what some of the takes are on this. As Ukrainian long-range strikes start to affect Russia deeply, Trump is trying to stop Ukraine from fighting back again, trying to apply pressure on Ukraine. He's trying to bend them to his will. Trump is a disgusting traitor piece of shit. Thank you, Bricktop Nafo. Very controversial and large figure on X. Friends of his support rejecting Trump's bastardist ceasefire capitulation deal retweet this post and comment with no deal. Let's show President Zelensky that we continue to stand behind Ukraine's territorial integrity. Ukraine will win. I posted another one too. Like, what was it? The Ben Salman? Why wasn't he wearing a suit in the White House? Sorry, I'm still getting better. Yeah, delivered to Witkoff, I'm sure. Witkoff's gonna be out soon too, I'm pretty sure. Trump's peace plan is a blatant betrayal of Ukraine, and by extension all of Europe. Ukraine rejects the US-Russian plan. Kyiv states that the document simply reiterates the Kremlin's maximalist demands and cannot be implemented in its current form in Ukraine. Main reasons for rejection. Ukrainian officials, including representatives from President Volodymyr Zelensky, Inner Circle cite the following key points, which they brand as capitulation-like and unilaterally pro-Russian. Territorial concessions. The plan demands the cession of the remaining part of the Donbass region to Russia, including areas currently under Ukrainian control. This would cement the annexation of parts of eastern Ukraine and contradicts the Ukrainian position that negotiations must take place on the basis of the current front line. Military restrictions. Why? See, that's just dumb. Military restrictions. Ukraine would have to reduce its armed forces by half, relinquish certain categories of weapons, and cease U.S. military aid. This would massively weaken Kyiv's defense capabilities and give Russia a strategic... See, that's how you know it's written by the Kremlin. There is no reason on God's green earth that Ukraine should cut their military in half right now. There's no reason. That's not... What is this, a goodwill gesture? Let's get rid of half our military. That's... Dude, that picture of Trump blowing Bubba must be like the most full-throated photograph, high pixel photo ever that Putin has, because this is just absolutely wild to think that they would want to cut their military in two and stop using US weapons. No wonder that's how he got his throat pussy. That's cultural and institutional demands. Russian would have to be recognized as the official state language, and the Ukrainian branch of the Russian Orthodox Church would have to be granted official status. These points are seen as an attempt to undermine Ukrainian identity and consolidate Russian influence. That reminds me, yes. Recent meetings between the Russian Orthodox Church and the White House in Washington, D.C. are related to discussion of the persecution of Ukrainian Orthodox Christians and the political influence of the church separately. The Russian Orthodox Church, through its Alaskan diocese, has called for and held prayers for peace related to potential U.S.-Russia leaders' talks in Alaska, citing the region's historical connection to Russia and its geographical bridge position. We'll bring up a AP Associated Press report here, because they are actually a really good source.
We hope for sustained peace. We hope for a ceasefire. We hope for an exchange of captives. We hope for the rebuilding of part of a world that's really been broken by war, by tragedy, by death, and by, of course, deep resentment and hatred and anger. This is really a 3-day ascent of prayer, which begins with a church service really dedicated to Saint Olga of Kwithluk, and she was known to be really a healer in families. And because of the great pain and hardship that is experienced by families in the Ukraine and also in Russia, it felt good to start there, that there would be healing there. With the leaders coming to Alaska, what is the one thing that the church can offer? And that is prayers for peace.
So they've got a plan. Saint Olga of Kiev is going to figure it all out for them. Saint Olga of Kiev. You want me to post the link? I'll post the link. Let me find the link to that. I'm glad I remembered that article. Let me pull it up. Copy. Oop, shit. Wrong button. I'm dumb today. It's gonna be a dumb. It's my Friday too. I'm so tired for work. I'm getting one day off right now. Pulling it up. I'm gonna post it in my Discord. Guys, join the Discord if you haven't already. I barely ever plug that. It needs to grow. We need to grow. We need more. We need to get bigger. We're gonna put this into... I'm gonna put this in Ukraine news. Even though it's kind of US Ukraine news. I posted the link there. It's in Ukraine news. Very strange. The Associated Press, they usually do articles with it, but they didn't this time. They just did the quick video. Let me find the. I bet they had it. It's probably just my link. Oh my God, no way. If more leaders had faith like Putin, there'd be peace. Russian Orthodox Church in Alaska. We're going here, guys. You gotta be fucking kidding me. This is in the United States of America. Let's hear it. Let's hear your fucking wisdom, oh faithful one.
Steps. No, you slow down.
Hi.
And glorious feast day.
Wow. Yeah, yes, yeah, kiss that thing. Slurp it. Mouth breather. This is epic cringe.
We don't give things to coincidence. I believe that if if peace is really the goal of this summit, if peace is really the intention of both world leaders, then by coming to Alaska, which is a place which has been both part of the Russian people and is now a state in the United States.
Next to the chat.
That naturally, geographically, and politically is the closest bridge between both nations. And so we believe that if peace is seriously the intention of President Vladimir Putin and President Donald Trump, then this is the place we pray where those discussions can be had and achieved. We know there was discussions of it being in Rome or in Switzerland, and you know, of course, these are great places of importance. Alaska's kind of off on the other end of the world. Alaska is the last frontier of both the Russian people and the American people, and so this is a natural bridge for both leaders to come and speak about ending this terrible conflict.
Yeah, but not in a Russian Orthodox church. That's unfair grounds. Unfair grounds, and the amount of freaking corruption already with the FSB embedded. This guy is probably... man, who are you? You are on the Chungus radar, sir. We're gonna find out who you are.
Mighty, holy, immortal, have mercy on us. Holy God, holy, mighty, holy, immortal, have mercy on us. Glory to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit, now and ever, and unto ages of ages. Amen.
I hope that above all there will be a ceasefire and an end of the destruction of Orthodox lives on both sides. We are a church that has both Russians and Ukrainians in our parishes, and so the conflict on both ends is by no means a one-sided issue. And what we pray for above all, and why we're doing these 3 days of services in our diocese, is because we want to, above all, a ceasefire and for a long-standing peace to reign. That is above all our goal.
What the fuck are they? Dude, that looks like my grandma's bedsheet from the 1950s. What is that thing? Grandma Agnes. They stole fucking Grandma Agnes's bedsheet.
Showing great zeal not only in your own spiritual labors as an office, but also in your apostolic fervor as you preach to the people awaiting the light of Christ.
It is well known that Vladimir Putin regularly attends services, especially on major religious holidays. What is guiding him spiritually, and how important is faith in these big moments? How might you advise him spiritually?
The beginning of wisdom is the fear of God, and as the Proverbs write, the hearts of kings are in the hands of the Lord. And I think that we cannot judge a man's faith or judge his belief, but every time that he lights a candle, every time that he stands before an icon, praying for his people, praying for the country, praying for this solution, that he turns to God, and that we all follow by example in turning to God. This is fundamentally the problem in all of these discussions, is that we have removed the one peacemaker among us, which is Christ himself. And to not be afraid of that reality, to not be afraid of that truth, to not be afraid of the truth of Russian Orthodoxy in this land, which is Christ himself, and we believe that if world leaders in general would turn inwardly to faith overall, we would find more peace and more diplomacy in this world. It is the duty of a Christian to be a peacemaker, but it's also the duty of a Christian to defend what is right and to defend what is true. We make no judgment on him. We make no judgment on the conflict in that respect. We just want peace. And we know that by being a man of faith, by being someone who turns to God, that is more likely to happen than if he wasn't. And so for that, I don't have advice necessarily for him, just to
so apparently atheists can't come to a peace plan in his mind. There will be no peace with non-believers. A Muslim couldn't find peace. There's no peace there. It's only through the Russian Orthodox Church and their corrupt, perverted version of what they believe is scripture.
The truth of Christ, and remember the kingdom of God, and to always have that be the primary goal for everybody.
Every prayer, every little bit of prayer helps from all of us, the whole Diocese of Alaska. We're all praying that there is peace for our Orthodox brothers and sisters overseas.
Bro.
As Orthodox Christians, we remain hopeful that the effort that we put forth in prayer will be heard. And these are incredibly difficult, challenging times. And if anything, we need to have hope for peace and an end of suffering. Not just in Ukraine, but throughout the world, in Syria, Palestine.
Oh, here we go.
All over.
The Congo.
And I think that the prayers that we offered today, yesterday, and tomorrow will be heard.
Nah. Maybe we should go on a road trip and start hitting up some of these churches. I'll just go in there and I'll live stream them undercover.
Seeing as we have world leaders coming here to Anchorage, our dear Vladika told us that we should be more deeply in prayer.
Our dear of Vladika?
We should ask the saints, especially Saint Olga, who we asked last night, just for her prayers and her intercessions. Then Saint Herman, who we asked for his prayers and
Saint Olga Quifa and Saint Herman,
his intercessions tonight. And God willing, we'll be asking the Most Holy Theotokos for her prayers and her intercessions for peace in the world.
Yuck. Well, there you go. If more leaders had faith like Putin, there would be more peace, guys. All right. Well, that's all I got. I got no more for you. Fucking epic cringe. Describe Witkoff in one word. Putin meets Trump envoy. There we go. I like that one. Oh no. Yep, not a lot of love there for Witkoff. Dang, look at that. And the little Matryoshka. Oh shit, that's kind of wild. Alright, well, it's been a bit of a sleepy stream, guys. I'm gonna get ready for work. I wanted to throw that out there because I feel like it's important to cover what's going on in Ternopil right now with the strikes. And also, guys, please, if you could donate to the fundraiser, guys. I appreciate the hell out of it. It's really easy to do. You just click the link that I've got pinned in the chat and it pulls up right here through Page in Kansas, right? Thank you for the 10. Thank you for the 10, Salt. That makes the whole stream worth it, to tell you the truth. Thank you, Salt. Not a lot of donations today, I know. It's kind of a sleepy Friday. I'm pretty tired myself, but we're going to get back into doing regular streams. I'm going to try to get more primetime streams going, but it's very difficult for me for my scheduling. But we will be having Paige in Kansas on here very soon as well to discuss her last trip to Ukraine. I'll do a post before that. I'm going to talk to her right after this and see when she wants to come on the air, and we'll do an interview about her last trip to Ukraine. But guys, if you could, please support the fundraiser. Please, please, please support the fundraiser. We are now at $1,290. So we breached the $1,300 mark, and I appreciate you, Salt of the Red Earth, for that donation. Thank you. Appreciate the hell out of that. All right, guys, that's all I got. Keep Ternopil in your thoughts, please. Don't go praying about it at a Russian Orthodox church, though. We can do better than that, yeah? All right. Love you guys. Talk to you later.
They wave their flags like they own the sky, shouting loud, but they don't know why. Books untouched, their minds run dry. Truth's a stranger, they pass right by. Oh, false flags flying high, empty hearts where the truth won't lie. They scream of love for the land they claim, but their wicked deeds bring only shame.
Guys, I just got corrected in chat. That's how sleepy it is. It's not Friday. It's a Thursday. Good night.
But their wicked deeds bring only shame. But their wicked deeds bring only shame. They chant the words they barely know, hollow pride in a shallow show, pointing fingers where the winds don't blow, building walls where the rivers flow. Oh, false flags flying high, empty hearts where the truth won't lie. They scream of love for the land they claim, but their wicked deeds bring only shame. But their wicked deeds bring only shame. But their wicked deeds bring only shame. A patriot's heart should beat with grace, not with fists or a hate-filled face. If love's the seed, then let it grow, not in shadows, but where light will show. Oh, false flags flying high, empty hearts where the truth won't lie. They scream of love for the land they claim, but their wicked deeds bring only shame. Oh, false flags flying high, empty hearts where the truth won't lie. They scream of love for the land they claim, but their wicked deeds bring only shame. But their wicked deeds bring only shame. But their wicked deeds bring only shame.
Why would you think Michelle Obama's a man?
Well, do a little research. Just do a little research.
But that's like out there.
What's out there is the fact that her walking out in a skirt, and there's an obvious bulge where there shouldn't be one.
Another day. Another day. Just run till you take your last breath. There's no time to sit around being lazy. Renegade junk is gonna grind out daisy. Survival schemes, raiding dreams like you don't care. Zombies scrubbing on some bodies like a nightmare. Grabbing loot in the spawn might just fight there. And the goons shooting at me, yeah, we're out there. Keep the feet dry, light a fire if you're crazy. Survivors out there shooting, yeah, that's day. They try to take my loot, but I'm fast and I'm sneaky. Hearing footsteps in the woods, yeah, that's creepy. But I'm a wolf and all of you looking sheepy. Knock you one gone, now you feeling little sleepy. Waking up, your loot's gone, don't go crazy. Another day, another death, yeah, that's tasty. Hear the bullets crack by your head, make you screech. Run, cover, keep your gun by your reach. Wear your armor and a helmet is what we preach. Or get your ass sent back to the beach. Clean your water, cook your food, wash your hands. Keep one eye on the bad guy and your friends. Watch for killers who shoot at you through a lens. But this is how the story always ends.